So it's just a couple of days to the start of the World Cup. We're here in Carragher's Bar in Manhattan. We're getting set for Sounders action tomorrow night against Red Bulls, but that's not our focus here today, guys. We're going to talk about the World Cup, specifically a couple of Sounders players who are going to be involved. We'll start off with Román Torres. We know what a road it was for Panama to get there. The question is, what are they going to do now they are there in the World Cup?
Not very much, I don't think, actually, unfortunately, for those Panamanian fans. Look, I think it's special, obviously, Panama qualifying. The president has, declares a day of celebration afterwards for the country. It's a big deal, no question about it. Anytime a nation qualifies for the first time for a World Cup, it's huge. But I think it's going to be tough for them. I think it's a tough group. Obviously, Belgium is playing extremely well right now. In a lot of people's dark horse to go very far in the tournament.
Yes, yeah. You know Roberto pretty well from working with him.
Yes, of course. And I think, and funny enough, I know a lot of people are writing off England, and I think it's one of those years for England because there's no expectation. I think they'll do much better than people are giving them credit for.
I'm going to bring you in here, Steve, because we talked a few weeks ago, and you were short and sweet with your comments on could England go all the way? No chance. But can they go deeper than we're expecting in the competition?
You have to remember, I grew up in England. I've seen 98. I've seen Euro 2000. I've seen World Cup 2002, Euro 2004.
So you're saying penalties, semifinal,
losing to Germany.
Losing,
I've just seen a pattern of a team that's severely underachieved. But Kasey's right. This isn't the golden generation we had before. So maybe with the pressure off, England can be maybe that dark horse and get far. I don't see them winning, but maybe semifinals, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a I think a quarterfinal is very achievable, and when you get to that stage, who knows what's going to happen if they stay fit. And
we started this talking about Panama, Román Torres. Let's tie a bow on that. Any chance? Give me a percentage chance they get out of this group.
5.
Keith, it's less than 10%. They just won't do it. Torres has been great, and he's going to be a character and everything like that. But on the pitch, it's going to be a different story, man.
Yeah, so good they got the celebrations out of the way with the qualification.
Yeah.
Well, other side of things, we have another Sounder playing for Sweden, Gustav Svensson. They did well to get here. They knocked out Italy. So that was a difficult task to go to Italy, get that draw, and move on. They're in a tough group: Germany, Mexico, South Korea. Thoughts on this one? Can they get out?
Yeah, I think they can get out. I don't think they will, but I think they can. I don't think it's a great Mexican team. I think they're struggling at the moment. They haven't looked convincing in their warm-ups. Obviously, Germany. Germany should win that group. South Korea are one of those teams that you just don't know.
Never know, right? And they can be really good.
They can. It wouldn't surprise me if South Korea come in and cause an upset or two. But I think Sweden, I think when you're looking at Mexico, South Korea, or Sweden, I think it's really any of those three. If they get the right result against the right team, and another team, has one of those tournaments where they just don't achieve the way you think they could. Mexico, but for some reason, always seems to find themselves in a round of 16 and getting knocked out. So, they go through every World Cup
you
just to
Mexico
get knocked out.
Through, Steve, You fancy Mexico to go through with Germany?
In my bracket, I had Germany and Mexico, but it's going to be Germany +1. South Korea, I don't get to see them, but they're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Sweden will be a solid team. Mexico, I'm not sure how they're going to be, but it's a tough one, man. It's a toss-up who comes. It's going to be a very tight group. Germany could win all 3 games, or do Germany win their first 2 and then play a weakened squad in the 3rd game, and then that favors. So it's going to be a balance of that. But it's Germany +1. I would love to see Gustav get through. I'm going to stick with Mexico just because if their best version shows up, then I would give them the slight edge.
I think there's some. I think if you're looking at statistically over World Cups, you would have to probably pick Mexico to be the favorite in a very tight group. But there's no reason
does it affect it that it's in Europe? We always hear this. Well, teams don't travel. Does it affect it that Sweden?
Kasey would know.
Well, statistically, it's been true. But I think if you look at this Mexican team, where a majority of that team play in Europe or have had European, it's different. They used to say that about obviously Argentina and Brazil, but all those players play in Europe. So it doesn't have the same. And I think also when you go to Russia, it's not Western Europe. It's a different Europe. It was like the same thing. You saw what happened in 2002. There was some in Korea, Japan. There were some anomalies. until you got to the end when it was who you expected.
Yeah. Now, look, I've done out my bracket. I think we're safe to say we're very happy to see the two guys there, but we're kind of expecting them to be back early. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but let's leave it there at that.
We hope them the best.
Look, moving on. This is my cheat sheet here. In the group stages, which team do you think can surprise us? Because there's always that one team when it comes to the World Cup.
Well, if we knew that, it wouldn't be a surprise.
Well, that's what you guys are the experts. You are going to give us a sneak peek at who is going to be your surprise team this year.
I honestly, I don't see a surprise team. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to be the usual suspects in this tournament.
You open your Christmas presents 2 days early, don't you?
No.
You don't like surprises?
No, I like surprises. I'm happy to see one, but I just don't see anybody right now that I'm looking at going, wow, they can do something great. I think people were thinking, oh, maybe if Mo Salah kind of kept that going, and then with him banged up now, I think a lot of people have thought maybe Egypt can't do what some people thought if that golden run that he's had with Liverpool this season continued. But, when I'm looking at, other teams around, like look at what Costa Rica did in Brazil. I just don't see a CONCACAF doing that team this time. I don't know.
Steve, help me here.
I did my bracket too, Keith, and the top two in this group was teams you would probably say, I can see that. The love story will be Iceland to do something with the support they have.
What a story 2 years ago.
Right.
That would be great. I just don't see it. I think the best teams are going to come. They're going to play. Egypt will be my dark horse. If Salah's fit and anywhere near what he's been, they might squeeze through in their group. But I think we won't see any true upsets until you get to the later rounds where maybe a team that you didn't favor can beat one of the big guns.
I think in previous World Cups there was a lot of buzz with maybe an African team or somebody coming through. But right now, I mean, I don't see any of the African teams really jumping out. And
I think, look, I actually have a couple of them gone through. In Group B,
Nigeria.
My surprise is I think Morocco are going to go through ahead of Portugal. I think they've...
Okay.
Portugal won the European Championships playing a certain style, which was defend deep. And now you have to come out as a champion. I feel like that might be a shock. And Senegal, I think, have a lot of explosive players. And I think they can get out of that group with Colombia, Japan, Poland. It's a group that you look at.
We're going to find out if that European, Poland is a good team.
Yeah.
And you got some players, obviously.
Colombia,
and Colombia is extremely athletic. So,
well, to be fair to your point, you're right. We don't see it because it is a surprise. So when it happens, it will be a surprise.
But there isn't. Like I said, there isn't one of those teams that you're just. People are saying, oh, can Belgium be that team? Sure. And you're thinking, look at these players. Yeah. Of course, that's a dark horse. Yeah. Belgium. Yeah. Oh, France. Oh, geez.
Okay. A better way to maybe word this question would be. Very difficult to pick a team to jump out of the pack from that lesser group. But out of the top teams, there's 8 or 9 teams that you look at and you go, wow, is there one team you feel like coming into this, they're going to underachieve despite all the talent they have?
Well, look, I thought the U.S. players did brilliantly the other night against France, but France significantly underwhelmed, for me. So maybe that's the kick that the team needs, one of those little shocks before the tournament, so it just kind of wakes everybody
Did you prefer
up.
That? Going in off the back of it, being on edge a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, I've been on both sides, right? Where you're flying and you continue to fly, or you're flying and you fall flat, and vice versa. It's so hard. I mean, it's because a friendly's a friendly, and everybody knows it's a friendly, and it's not, it's just different. And obviously, I think what it meant for those young U.S. players is significantly different than what it meant for that French team. And take nothing away from the performance from the U.S. guys. They did brilliantly well. But that French team, as loaded as they are, you expect more.
Sure.
I think one of the biggest mysteries for me has been, over the years, Argentina. Just the list, especially of attacking players they've had. I can go through Tevez, Higuain, Aguero, Messi, Di Maria. They should have achieved more. And
when you list it like that, too, it's...
And the fact they haven't figured out a way to get the best out of that group, I would love to see Messi lift that World Cup. I think they're going to underachieve.
I just defensively don't think they have
it.
I don't think... every player you mentioned there
is an attacking group.
And it's about balance, right? I mean, it'll be interesting.
I think there'll be a letdown because I think they're on track. If they do well to meet Spain, I don't think they get past Spain. It's... I think Argentina.
Argentina?
Yeah, I think Argentina.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the really tough questions. When it gets to the knockout stages, we start to see some of the big names come up against each other. I want your final prediction, and I want who wins that final.
Well, I think Spain's got a great chance. That's kind of who I'm looking at is I think they'll bounce back from the last World Cup where they got knocked out when they didn't get out of the group stage. I think they've got something to prove. They didn't have a great Euros, and I still think they're extremely talented. But I'll be honest with you, I really think it's going to be usual suspects. Yeah. I think it's going to be Spain, Germany, Brazil. I think Brazil as well have a lot to prove. I think
Neymar's look good.
I think they've done extremely well too after the, you can say it, the humiliation with the 7-1 in the semifinal, and they cruised through qualifying. They look extremely motivated. So I like Brazil as well.
I have a Germany-Brazil final. A week ago, I would have said Germany would win. And then I saw Neymar play on Sunday, and he looks ready. I mean, Brazil's squad, I love Marcelo. I think he's been the best left-back in the world for a couple of years now. Neymar is in that Brazil squad. He's always been better than he's been in club football.
You mentioned Messi. So, yeah, Messi's
the opposite.
Messi.
Yeah, and you don't see that. Neymar's the opposite.
Neymar's a better national team player?
He has 55 goals. He's only behind Ronaldo and Pele, and he's 25, 26 years old. So he's going to break.
Mario, which is
it's unbelievable what he's done. He's going to break both their records. And I think up until he got injured the last World Cup, he was doing great. He's won them the Olympics. I can see him carrying this team through and being that special
fresh,
player.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, if he's back to full fitness,
and it
looks like he's back to full
looks
fitness.
Good, yeah.
But he's also, you hear about so many players. I mean, Messi's probably played 65, 70 games this year going into a World Cup, and where Neymar's kind of had that little.
Yeah. Does it look like
fresh.
Messi doesn't enjoy it as much being?
Well, I think the hard part with Messi is this is what my Argentinian friends have said to me. Messi went to Spain when he was like 15.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have that. I grew up here. This is my club. This is what I did in the Argentinian league, and this is, and also I think the Argentinians love a crazy superstar.
Maradona.
They love a nutball, and Messi is. I don't know.
Maradona wasn't crazy.
Look, I don't know Messi well. I've done a couple appearances with him, and he was just a super nice kid. Just nothing. I like him a lot. I respect him a ton because I like the guy that just goes out, does the job, and doesn't have to point at the back of his jersey and me.
Sure.
I think the Maradona shadow, he's so big in Argentina, it looms so large. I mean, Messi's had such a turbulent.
Well, Maradona brought him a World Cup.
Messi, he's retired and unretired. He's boycotted the press. He has a really strange thing with Argentina, whereas in Barcelona it seems free. So I think with that said, it's almost too much to carry. He's had 3 finals. They've lost all 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just he's come close. I just don't see it this World Cup.
And just on that, Maradona won a World Cup, and when Maradona was at his probably lowest in 90, took them to another final.
Yeah, he was special.
On his back. Caniggia played well as well.
Yeah.
But you guys want to hear my prediction? You guys never asked, so
I know.
I'm going to give it anyway.
Go ahead.
Don't you let the analysts analyze and the host? Isn't that usually the way it works?
Our producer's telling me we have a couple more seconds. So why not showcase my lovely bracket? It's like, in 5th grade, when you make your little school project, that's what this reminds me of.
Oh, you got Spain.
I didn't get you. I've got, look. You had me with Brazil today, and I went, I know Steve's right on that one. But I'd already written in Spain, so I'm going to go Spain over Brazil in the final. But I think if we do get that final, I think it's 2 really good footballing teams. And Brazil...
Really? Spain and Brazil play football?
Look, I'm not. You had no surprises, so you can't blame me for not going out on a limb. Either way, look, it's going to be a great tournament. I hope you guys enjoy watching it. And before that, make sure you watch us tomorrow night. Sounders looking for a 2nd win in a row against New York Red Bulls. And I believe it's on Joe TV. I hope it is because I've just said it. Make sure you join us.